Christy Giles, a married aspiring model and actor from Alabama, and Hilda Marcela Cabrales-Arzola, an architect who had moved to LA from Monterrey, Mexico, were two young friends whose tragic deaths in November of 2021 garnered widespread attention. What should have been just a regular girls' night out together turned into a tragedy, with their cases highlighting serious issues related to drug use, sexual assault, and exploitation of women in the entertainment industry.
Underwear, alcohol, syphilis, murder, forbidden. Oh, I'm intrigued. There's so many elements to this.
Yes, there
There's so
are.
many names.
Yes.
What are you drinking?
I am drinking a cava this evening.
Oh, you said that already, didn't you?
Did I?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I just remember from last time.
Yes, the Lalo zero proof cava relaxation beverage that supposedly is like a natural relaxant. And then I obviously took my gummy. So I'm going on natural tonight since I didn't feel so hot yesterday.
Yeah, the old sinus headache.
Yes,
So frustrating. They ruined our plans.
yes. A
Uh,
day late.
well, you know what's fun is I can't find our intro, so I'm just gonna wing it.
Okay,
Let's see if
do
I
it.
can do it unscripted.
Okay, do it.
Welcome to Forbidden, the podcast where we discuss the disgusting, the dark, and the disgraceful in our unmentionables. That's right, we've slipped into something more comfortable, and listener, we hope that you are doing the same. With a drink in hand, of course. I am Blake Roberts.
And I'm Amanda Gamata.
And this is our limited series, Narcotic. From street corners to boardrooms, cartel strongholds to government cover-ups, this series explores how drugs shape lives, fuel violence, and quietly influence the systems we trust.
All right. So, just before we get into the entire story, I just wanted to quickly name my sources, which are CBS News, The Independent, the LA County Court Records System, People Magazine, and the Soho House website.
Hmm.
Yeah, a little bit of everything in there.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about Christy and Hilda and the events leading to their deaths. Once again, I think that this story resonated with me so much because it's something that truly I could see happening to myself.
Oh.
You know,
As
like
you
it's,
mentioned, a cautionary tale
yes, a cautionary tale.
for yourself.
Yeah, for myself, because the events leading up to their deaths kind of feels like it could happen, like to anybody, any like friend that you go out one night and everything turns to a shit show. So on November 13th of 2021, Christy Giles, a 24-year-old model for Wilhelmina, who had traveled the world and was an aspiring actress, and her friend Hilda Marcela Cabrales-Arzola. She was a 26-year-old architect, and they basically became friends out in LA. They were both transplants, one from Alabama, one from Mexico. And they were basically planning a girls' night out. So they first attended an art show at Soho House in LA and then proceeded to move to a rave warehouse party in Los Angeles to see their favorite DJ. So I don't know if you're familiar with Soho House. I believe you probably are. But for those listeners who may not be, Soho House is like a private membership club, and it's a series of properties around the world, and they build themselves as a home for creative people to come together and belong. Every house member has access to more than 40 houses around the world, from club spaces and bedrooms to spas, gyms, screening rooms, and events. But
So,
it's a membership only.
did I tell you I've been there?
I've been to the one here in Miami before, in Miami Beach.
I went to the one in Los Angeles.
Hmm.
There might be multiple in Los Angeles. I can't remember. The one in
I
Beverly
think there
Hills.
are.
It's like Beverly Hills, West Hollywood, sort of adjacent, if I remember correctly.
Hmm.
I went there maybe like a year and a half ago, and Elon Musk was there when I was there.
Oh my God. That's
Yes.
hilarious.
Fun fact.
So I assume you guys hung out.
Became fast friends.
Yes.
Inner
Yes.
circle.
Yes. So after they go to Soho House together, they left and went to this warehouse rave. I don't know what time they left Soho House, but usually warehouse raves go, pretty late into the
Mhm.
evening slash morning slash
The
day.
after party. Yeah.
Yes, yes. But so she and her friend were there, and at approximately 3 a.m., David Brian Pearce, a Hollywood producer, his friend Brandt Walter Osborn, and Michael Ansbach, an acquaintance, met them at the warehouse party in East Los Angeles where they were hanging out in the VIP section. So these two girls went there together, and then they were sort of in this VIP area. So they came across this group of guys, one who claimed to be a Hollywood producer. Surveillance footage and digital evidence later revealed that Pearce provided what appeared to be cocaine to both women, which they consumed at the rave. So that was around 3 a.m. when they met each other. About 2 hours later, Giles and Cabrales-Arzola accompanied Pearce, Osborn, and Ansbach back to Pearce's Beverly Hills apartment. While at the apartment, they gave Giles and her friend GHB and fentanyl, causing Giles and Cabrales-Arzola to fatally overdose.
What's GHB?
It's gamma hydroxybutyrate, and it's called a date rape drug.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They get to this guy's place, it sounds like about 5 o'clock in the morning or something like that. But within about 35 minutes of arriving at the apartment, one of the girls texted the other one and was like, let's go, sort of like with an emoji, like, let's get out of here sort of situation. And so the other girl called an Uber and said it was 10 minutes away. Well, the Uber driver got there and no one ever came downstairs. So he left. They didn't leave the apartment until Pearce carried Giles out of the apartment about 11 hours later, and then carried the other girl out about an hour and a half after that. So basically, what happened was he and his friends dropped the victims off, the girls, off at two different local hospitals. They were masked and in unmarked cars. So there was no license plate on the car, and it was a Prius. And they told at different hospitals that they had found the girls unresponsive on the sidewalk. So they were doing like a good Samaritan deed, when in fact they were basically dropping them off because they had overdosed at this guy's apartment in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, this does sound familiar now.
Yeah. Giles was deceased when she was dropped off at the hospital. And then Cabrales-Arzola was resuscitated and died 11 days later, one day before her 27th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, like super, super sad. So, autopsy findings and then the legal things that came after this. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner coroner classified both deaths as homicides. Giles' cause of death was determined to be a combination of, get this, cocaine, fentanyl, ketamine, and GHB, commonly known as the date rape drug. The other gal suffered from multiple organ failure due to cocaine and MDMA, ecstasy, intoxication, along with other undetermined substances. Ironically, Giles, she was actually married, and her husband was able to piece together their evening by photos taken at the rave party that showed the girls partying with Pearce and his friends, as well as text messages that he was able to find, like on the cloud. So her husband was in San Francisco when this happened, and he had talked to her, and she had told him that she was going, out that evening, and they tracked each other on their phones, and so he could see that she went to some, like, she was there for a number of hours at this address that he didn't recognize, and then all of a sudden her phone was pinging at a hospital, and that's probably when she was dropped off. So he was piecing things together that helped, catch these people. He was convicted in February 5th of this year, Pearce. He was convicted of 3 counts of forcible rape, 1 count of sexual penetration by use of force, 1 count of sodomy of use by force, 1 count of rape of an unconscious woman, and 1 count of sexual penetration by foreign object, and the sexual assaults of 7 different victims that came forward that said from 2007 to 2020, saying that they had also been drugged and sexually assaulted by Pearce.
7 in addition to the 2 that died.
Correct.
Wow.
Scott. Yeah. So this guy just basically had a reputation of drugging and, sexually assaulting women.
So was he actually a producer?
I couldn't really verify that. It said that he was a producer, but I'm not sure that he actually was. Sorry, there's some sort of pandemonium going on outside of my home right now. There's
I heard that.
Sirens and all that good stuff. So he was convicted of all of those crimes. And he was scheduled to be sentenced March 13th of this year. And he faces 148 years to life in state prison and will be required to register as a sex offender for life. I would hope so.
Yeah, I would think so.
What's interesting is it said that he was to be sentenced on March 13th, but I don't know if it got delayed or what, but I wasn't able to find like what his sentence ended up being. So he was supposed to be sentenced last month, but he wasn't. His co-defendant, the other gentleman that was there, Brandt Walker Osborn, who was involved in the case, his trial ended in a mistrial due to a deadlocked jury, but a retrial may be forthcoming on that.
I wonder what would drive that to a deadlock.
I don't know, particularly when the other has been convicted. The death of Giles and Cabrales-Arzola have sparked discussions about the dangers women face in social settings and the importance of accountability in the entertainment industry. Their families continue to advocate for justice and raise awareness about the risks associated with drug use and sexual exploitation. I mean, this story, like, honestly, I look back at it and I'm like, this could have been me in my 20s, like, totally. Go out one night with a friend, hit a rave, just make poor decisions. And then all of a sudden, like, you're in this situation is awful.
I don't even know if you could call it a poor decision, because if you think, like, she's with Wilhelmina, she's a model, she's in the entertainment, like a side of the entertainment industry, sort of like adjacent to the entertainment. And maybe I'm sure she's thinking, like, this is maybe my opportunity to, like, get a foot in the door.
Yeah.
And she's just trying to do what everyone's trying to do. Like, you're trying to network and make a good impression.
Yeah. Kind of a sad story.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing me down, Amanda.
No, you're welcome.
No, I do remember the headlines for that. I didn't remember the part that jogged my memory was them getting dropped off the hospital, and I do remember that. I do not remember the 7 additional complaints. So that's sort of felt.
Yeah. And I guess it happened so close to when COVID happened
Yeah.
that the fact that they showed up in this Prius or whatever, dropping someone off at different hospitals, because I'm sure the hospitals aren't like communicating their emergencies coming in,
Hmm.
to that degree, and you're in LA, of course you could find someone who's OD'd on the side of the street. I mean, you'd find it anywhere. I don't think it was probably a red flag that they had on masks and stuff because it was so close to like COVID and shit.
Yeah. It's
Because
probably
it was
also why,
2021.
yeah, probably also why I wasn't super familiar with this, because sort of that one headline dominated the stories for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Everything else was just sort of buried.
Yeah.
Well, that was interesting. Thank you for sharing.
Shady LA.
Mhm.
That entertainment industry will get you. But then the thing is like anyone can say they're a producer out there. You know what I mean? I'm sure that people throw that around very loosely
Well, it's
in
just how
some
everyone,
social
it's,
settings.
it's just how everyone now is an entrepreneur, and
Yes,
everyone is,
a philanthropist.
yeah, and an artist. Like everyone is a designer because they have access to Canva.
Yes.
Everyone's got such good taste.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be
Yeah.
curious to know. I'm sure you always do a good job of staying abreast of updates. I'm sure you'll let us know if you hear what happens to that gentleman.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm surprised he hasn't been sentenced yet. Like I said, there must have been some sort of delay put on it for some reason because I couldn't find what he ended up. But it sounds like he's going to get a life sentence, which he should.
Yeah, it sounds like you should. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, Blake, where can people continue to listen and watch
You
and
can.
do all those things?
It sounded so creepy. You can keep watching us
Yes.
on YouTube. You can listen on Apple and Spotify. Please rate, review, and subscribe. If you're doing all the things right, hit the like button below or wherever you are. And you can, and such things such as South Africa. Do you remember that clip?
Yeah.
Just popped into my
such
head.
as, such as, and
I
such
felt like I
as,
was rambling like that.
yeah, such
Uh,
as the world is South Africa or something. I can't
such
remember.
as the Iraq and the Middle East. Oh, social media. What would we do without them? Social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at The Forbidden Pod. And send us your stories. Send us inappropriate photos, whatever you want to, at hello@theforbiddenpod.com. I think that covered it.
Yeah.
Guess what? Do you know what my hints are for next week?
Oh, yeah.
My
We
next
haven't done
story?
hints in a while.
Well, guess what? We're not going to start now because I don't have any.
Oh, I forgot. You did say something about that.
Yeah, I just thought I would tease you there.
Yeah.
Fake
Thank,
tease.
thank you.
Hmm.
Well, thank you for listening to my short, sweet, very depressing story. But can you see that like cautionary tale behind that? I mean, it's just feels so bad for those girls. Like they just wanted a good night out.
Well, and it takes me back to that time on New Year's when you got into the back of that guy's pickup truck,
Yes, yes. Covered
and you're
truck.
still with us today somehow.
I know. I made it through.
The wilderness.
Survivor. Yes, I'm a survivor. All right. Well, thank you for listening to that. And it's always a pleasure catching up with you. And listeners, as always, we thank you. Cautionary tale.